Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Quick Draw, we're getting action on both ends when we take a look at the long-awaited Mios. Now, this was probably one of the most highly anticipated weapons since its fan art concept won over the devs in late 2013. With a very eye-catching design and one-of-a-kind moveset, the crowds have been clamoring to get their hands on this beast of a weapon for almost 2 years. So, now that the Mios has finally gone live, the question here is, was it all worth the wait? Yes, it was! Oh my god, it's so good! Now, you can pick up its blueprints in the infested lab of your clan dojo, but only once you've completed the appropriate research. However, if almost 2 years is more than enough of a wait than you can stand, you can always pick this up in the market along with a weapon slot and catalyst for 175 plat. Now, the Mios' primary damage type is slashing. However, it has a fairly balanced spread with both impact and puncture only falling slightly behind. Now, as we know, slash is great against fleshy targets but suffers against armored units. However, this may prove not to be a massive problem for the Mios since its spread isn't highly focused in just one damage type, making it fairly useful against multiple factions. And in that same vein, if you want to specialize against any one particular enemy type, be sure to equip the appropriate elemental combos in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. Okay, so this is definitely an impressive specimen on many levels. It's got a base damage of 80, which puts it on the higher end of the melee spectrum, a base critical chance of 15%, and a 2x crit multiplier, which, combined with the stance as well as the reach of its whip, makes it a viable crit weapon. And for those annoying fools who wish to push status builds on us all, it even has a 25% status chance, which with only 2 elemental status mods can be boosted up to 55%. Seriously, there is so much to love about the Mios. I mean, it's not every day we get a weapon that can be effective with a base damage boosting build, a crit focused build, or even, dare I say, a status build. I think my favorite thing about it all is the fact that the Mios has such an interesting mix of slower, more impactful swings from its blade, but combines it with some very fast and far-reaching lashes with its whip. Give this baby a prime to reach and the whole thing gets pretty ridiculous. It allows you to charge in head first into priority targets while letting its whip end take care of any surrounding peons. Not only are both the weapon and moveset visually stunning, but they're also quite effective, which is definitely a nice climax after all of this anticipation. Speaking of anticipation and hopefully eventual climax, can we talk? Okay, so can I just say that this whole situation is possibly one of the biggest metaphors for life. Sometimes it takes a while to get to the good shit. Frankly, there are those of us who get discouraged looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right, only seeming to be faced with the never-ending lineup of Mr. Douchebags or Mrs. Self-Destructives. But the fact is, sometimes you gotta kiss a lot of twin basalt before you finally find your Dios Mios. See, here's the thing, if you just had your Mios in the first place, you would never appreciate it as much as you would have if you hadn't been exposed to the utter shitbags out there. All of the little dicks who act like assholes to overcompensate, and all of the big dicks that are just so full of themselves that they don't think they need technique whatsoever. Literally, the Mios is like finding an ex-porn star who can cook, make you laugh, and knows how to put together a good Warframe build. See, you had to wait a couple years for everything to work out the way it did, and maybe it's not 100% perfect, but when a man can fill your mouth in more ways than one, it's always worth the wait. Now, I think that's a good place to leave it. Let's get back to the quick draw. So, all in all, if I haven't beaten it into you by now, the Mios is definitely a must-try. It's got very good strong base statistics that make for flexible building options, a unique stance that mixes both heavy and quick attacks, as well as a seriously badass aesthetic. It even comes with an innate V polarity, which makes modding it a breeze. To be completely honest with you, there's really nothing much else to say other than, I do not smoke. However, I think I'm gonna need a cigarette and a warm wet towel for cleanup after this one. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. Be sure to check out yet another weapon we waited ages to get, the Serrata, as well as the fairly craptacular Twin Basalt. Now don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned, because after 2 years of waiting, I may actually put out some quality content at some point, here at A Gay Guy Plays.
Let's see how you work under pressure. Eliminate all enemies before the timer reaches 0. Melee strike the orbs to have extra seconds added to the clock.
So you're telling me that for rank 21, all I gotta do is touch a whole bunch of balls so I can keep unloading on these guys? Yep, I got this.